In A Game Player's Manifesto, Richard Garfield, the creator of Magic the Gathering, spoke out against games he called skinnerware. These were games that followed a revenue model that he felt preyed on addictive personalities, and gave gameplay advantages to the people willing to spend the most money. When I began playing and reviewing Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest, this article was the first thing I thought of, because this game is, without a doubt, skinnerware. Many Magic the Gathering players ask the question, is it worth it to play Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest? I say, is it worth it to play, and not, is it worth it to buy Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest? Because Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest is an app which can be downloaded and played for free. Although, of course, in apps and games such as this, there are many, many ways to spend money yet. Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest is a Magic-themed puzzle quest game that looks a lot like Candy Crush at first. Like most of these types of games, you switch gems to accomplish goals. In this case, you switch gems to create mana to cast cards. Also, like most of these games, there are two types of in-game currency. Mana runes that are easy to get by playing the game, and mana crystals that are difficult to get by playing and are designed to tempt you to pay real money for them at the store. There are also different things that take real-world time to replenish, and conveniently enough, some of them can be sped up by spending those elusive mana crystals. That being said, the gameplay of this particular skinnerware is much more interesting than most, and actually takes a lot of the real mechanics of real Magic the Gathering cards and translates them to this platform in a reasonable and often clear way. This game is also a touch less greedy than most skinnerware, and you can play all aspects of the game for a very long time and without spending any real-world money. The basic gameplay of Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest is like this. You choose a planeswalker who has a deck made of real Magic cards. You play against an AI opponent with your deck. Your hand of cards are visible, and you get to decide which order you will cast your cards. You cast the cards by switching gems for the mana. Where this gets more interesting than something like Candy Crush is that these cards are all real Magic cards, with mechanics such as Trample, Madness, Hexproof, Flying, etc. Because of the complexity of the cards, you have a lot of decisions to make that will determine if you win or lose the game. The first decision is which planeswalker you want to play. You start out with one free planeswalker in their deck, but can easily get a basic planeswalker in each of the 5 colors by spending runes. Any additional planeswalkers beyond this can be purchased in the store using mana crystals. Just like in real Magic the Gathering, each planeswalker has their own abilities that will help you win the game, and each deck has a different style of gameplay. Your decks are fully customizable with any of the cards you have. You only need one copy of a card to be able to play it in any of your decks. Duplicate copies can be converted into runes. How do you get cards? The planeswalkers come with a playable deck, and you can get 3 free random cards every 8 hours if you claim them. You also can win cards and packs by playing in events or quick battles. And of course, you can buy packs with crystals or real money. That being said, you get plenty of cards without ever spending any money or buying any packs in the store. During gameplay, you actually end up with a lot of decisions, and the gem switching ends up being the least important part of gameplay. You need to decide if you want to cast a creature spell or support spell first. Do you want to prioritize mana generation, or would you rather prioritize defense or possibly attacks? You have to prioritize which spells will work best against your particular opponent. Does their planeswalker have an ability that does 2 damage to each of your creatures? Better prioritize creatures with higher toughness. Do they have one large creature that is threatening to destroy you? You have to decide if you would rather work on creating a large defender, or perhaps just trying to get removal. You can even decide to get a spell ready to cast, but then hold it back until just the right time. While this is not anywhere near as complex as real Magic the Gathering, it is significantly more complex and satisfying than most skinnerware. So what are some issues with the game, aside from the inherent issues that come with any skinnerware game? I want to talk about the game itself. Events are some of the most fun gameplay, providing lots of opportunities to win cards and crystals, but you can only play each round so many times, and then the timer takes sometimes over 3 hours to refill. That is just way too long for a game such as this, and the only consolation, oddly enough, is that they actually don't let you pay your way out of this wait, making this game, like I said, a bit less greedy than most skinnerware. They also usually have a full day between events, and playing the story mode and quick battles will then start to feel more like a grind than actual fun. The mechanics are also very confusing, and there's no easy way in-game to see what they all do. Some of these mechanics translate very well. For example, mechanics like trample, reach, and flying, but there are many other mechanics that are very confusing, like madness and, strangely enough, hexproof, that doesn't seem to work like I would expect. I also was frustrated when I saved up a huge amount of crystal to buy a planeswalker I wanted from the store, and right when I finally had saved up enough, it rotated out, although I guess that is kind of like regular Magic the Gathering. Final conclusion, Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest is indeed skinnerware. But as far as skinnerware goes, this is really well made. The card mechanics make the gameplay very interesting and engaging, especially for a gem-based game such as this. And unlike most other skinnerware games, I was able to play as long as I wanted without spending a penny. And that includes playing successfully in events, as well as going through the default storyline play, getting into quick battles to try to earn prizes, and even by earning enough crystals with regular play to get a high-priced planeswalker. Grade B. Again, this grade reflects the quality of gameplay and the fact that this is better than most average skinnerware. However, at the end of the day, there is no getting away from the fact that this is indeed skinnerware. If you are interested in reading Richard Garfield's article where he spoke out against games such as this, I have included a link to that article in the description. I hope very much this video has been of some help to you. You can help me out by remembering to like, share, subscribe, or just by leaving a message. And this video has been brought to you in part by a sponsorship from Card Kingdom, as well as the Patreon support of viewers like you. So thank you.